All right, here we are in the finals of the Alpha Navigators Cup, number 18. Starring here in the blue Infernal, we have TheoRy. And up here, his opponent in the red Infernal is Yoru. So we've got a Infernal to end the night here. Two Hexens passing right in the center of the map, ignoring each other completely. My Hexen's always on attack move, so my Hexen always stops to shoot a few little bolts at the other Hexen, which maybe is not really the best, as we see both of these high-level players are on move command because they'd rather just get the scout in. And we've got Yoru coming in here scouting a double conclave, and we've got TheoRy. I don't know if TheoRy managed to get all the way in to scout that it's Vault Conclave coming out of Yoru. And actually what we do have here is an interesting play where both of these players are going to have meat farms at the same creep camp. And I imagine that's going to mean there's going to be a little bit of early conflict. Now what's going to happen with these guns? So we're going to go for the speed camp first. Yeah, that makes sense. That's usually the play that TheoRy has done. We've seen a number of games from TheoRy on Broken Crown, and this has been the typical opening. Let's see if he continues with that same opening, because every time he's been pretty consistent with it, regardless of opponent, regardless of matchup, which is to come for the speed camp first, and then, well, it looks like this is Fellhog versus Fellhog. That's like a sweet kind of battle, but he's decided to change it up and go straight for the vision cap. See if you can take out this farm. Now, here's the thing, if you can take out the farm, all the Fellhogs of the farm die. And so he did kill that farm, the Fellhogs die, and that supply blocks Yoru at the moment. Now, if I'm Yoru, that's pretty much, you should leave. Like, you know that you cannot reinforce until you get another farm up. And your opponent can. And does he have another farm going down? Yes, he does. But he does manage to get one of the Shadow Demons, at least it looked like it. So, you know, Yoru's the high-level player, I'm not. So he knows better than I what to do. And unfortunately, despite fighting over the Shadow Demons, he is going to have to back up. There's just too many Gaunts here, although turning to fight again, actually. And managing to, with some good micro and some focus fire, to get one of those Gaunts. Almost getting a second one, but losing the Brute, but skirting the Fiends away. And now that some reinforcements arrive, deciding, let's turn and fight. Let's see if I can get some of those weak units. This Brute, nice attack. Nice little counter there. The Brute still managing to stay alive. And it's just one extra Gaunt over here. Two more Gaunts reinforcing, another Brute. So we're actually getting a nice sort of trickle of reinforcements for both. We got Vault and Conclave here. And it's just double Conclave here. But it looks like Yoru is not wanting to continue that fight over the Vision Camp. And that means he's going to go and try and take out the Speed Camp. Meanwhile, TheoRy is going to go, looks like, all the way to the Health Camp, which is going to put him a little bit out of position if there's going to continue fighting over the Vision Camp. And indeed, that's what it looks like Yoru's intending to do. TheoRy is now all the way across the map, and this farm's going to go down. Well, focusing the FG first, I think that's an interesting choice. I think you should probably go for the farm first. They may have, of course, just been on attack while some macroing was going down. Indeed, this shrine looks like it may have gone down, and some other things.
Darkness.
But the farm, of course, spawns those hogs. It's a little bit of static D. So take it out first. That poor weak Gaunt, unfortunately, going down. These Shadow Demons are they do pretty good damage. Another one gonna go down? Oh, just in time. Wow. Thought that last one was gonna go down. And, well, this is a nice little force. It's got Brutes. Yoru's got Brutes. And we'll see if that tech choice is going to be the right one versus this pure Gaunt, basically, out of TheoRy. And at the moment, that army is chasing TheoRy right back up the ramp. Lots of Gaunts waiting up there. The Shrine getting up, meaning that there's now going to be Shroud. And there is no Plague Axes from TheoRy, and none from Yoru either. Those brutes go down initially, and unfortunately for Yoru, that's just not going to need that front line to protect for these smaller number of gaunts. Another brute showing up, but I don't think that brute's long for this world. Unfortunately, going down. Two fiends trying to survive, but also being taken out by bouncing plague or bouncing axes. Still, oh, now we got plague axes actually. Plague axes are up for TheoRy, and this is bad news for Yoru. Where are you going, TheoRy? TheoRy going for that speed camp. He loves these speed camps. Again, what's the benefit here? Well, if both of you have speed camps, then you're both going the same speed. If I have both speed camps, now I'm twice as fast as you. I get 2 speed boosts, you get none. Not quite twice as fast, but 2 speed boosts. So TheoRy decides, feeling a little ahead, going to go creep instead. I'm wonder about this choice, given that the Plague Axe timing was faster for TheoRy, but maybe TheoRy has no idea that that's the case. Maybe you certainly don't have any idea what your opponent's timing is unless you get some scouting on them. But we see that Plague Axe is actually just now finishing, and certainly a push. If TheoRy had pushed with these gaunts, that could have been the end of the game actually. We do see that Yoru has switched to a more gaunt-heavy style, especially now that Plague Axes is finished for his gaunts as well. I was going to say, it doesn't look like we have any upgrades for these brutes, but the brutes are still bugged, so we cannot see. There is no health ward, so these are unupgraded brutes. And, well, the gaunt ball still looking a little bit, I was going to say a little bit bigger, but maybe the number of gaunts is really close. Now it looks like TheoRy might be trying to be aggressive. Stopping to take the vision camp. Vision camps are one camp that are maybe worth stopping to take because your opponent can see you're there anyways. You're not really going to surprise them if you're walking right through their vision. It looks like the vision camp just respawned. And that was just maybe a bit of posturing out of TheoRy. He moved his army out, made Yoru move back to his base, and is now maybe going to go creep again, although it looks like he's got some fiends trying to take over the Luminite camp, and he's actually got another fiend taking the speed camp. I really like this play again. TheoRy's being aggressive on these speed camps, trying to make sure that he's the one with the speed boost, not Yoru. Taking out this camp here, while a couple fiends run into the main, and Yoru's chasing them with all his army. Well, he did send a couple fiends there to recapture the speed camp. So at least being diligent to get back on top of that when he loses the camp, to capture it again. TheoRy now creeping Yoru's health camp, which is again a good way to push from. So he might be planning to do that, or maybe just trying to steal that income. While Yoru, it looks like, is dealing with his speed camp over here. And now we see that TheoRy's up into the main, and this is actually going to be pretty good for him because the units of Yoru are out of position, and he's gone right on top of that manifested Shroud Zone. At least the Shroud Zone did buy time. Those gaunts for spending DPS on the Shroud Zone instead of something else. Nice Nightfall infestation going down. Lots of slow, and that's enough for one of those mags to get on top. Oh, and a Nightfall going back for TheoRy. That mag trying to get out and do more damage. Although no trampled at that point, and the mag going down. We have one Weaver in here doing a lot of tanking as well. So we do have this mixed force from Yoru, and it has pushed the pure-ish Gaunt force back from TheoRy. Re-dipping their toes into the speed juices and then getting back out on the map. Fiends running by, trying to get on top of these imps, but these imps turning to fight a couple of gods trying to get in there as well. Looks like the fiends are going to go down, although they turned to focus fire. They started focusing some gaunts, and it looks like now are some fiends, gaunts, imps. That's what they were focus firing. And now onto the vision camp. While it looks like these gaunts are capturing the health camp, That was giving Theory a little bit of knowledge about army positioning because all the Gaunts went to capture that camp. Um, and now, same thing over here, actually. All these Gaunts are going to capture, but I do like how he tried to keep half his army out, at least just not giving full information to Yoru about how many Gaunts he has. Now, he's moving right up the ramp. This is actually a really risky play. A Mag getting on top of them, a Nightfall infestation getting down on those one Gaunts, trying to get a little bit of a concave there. Weaver grabbing that Mag, and the Mag gets focused down. Then the Weaver gets yanked in, and it gets focused down. Another Weaver looks like it's about to go down, and a huge Nightfall infestation on all these Gaunts, but these Gaunts being confident and moving forward, trying to get on top of their opponent, and so that all of them are doing damage. But the concave is just better for Yoru, and Theory has to move away. Fighting with these effigies here. Yoru continuing to push Theory down. A couple of Megs caught out of position. Are they going to turn and stop? Turn and trample? No! Oh, he trampled his way away and just manages to be safe. Trample is just really good against those fiends. If they're trying to get a surround on you, you just trample and blah, blah, blah. They usually die. So fiends are great at surrounding stuff. You usually want to let me get that high value unit and surround it, but trying that on Megs is just not super useful unless you know for sure that they are on cooldown. Like nice flame imps. This is one thing that Theory does so well. He always researches flame imps, and whenever some kind of army gets on top of his mineral line, and he might be losing some imps anyways, he just says flame them up and just suicide them right into that army. And I've seen so many, bio balls, in this case, Gaunts going down, Argents going down, Kree going down, so many different things going down to those flame imps. Now it looks like Theory's trying to push back out, trying to recapture a little bit of map control and re-get his speed camp. We know how much he finds them important. There are a couple Megs there trampling through now, one of them getting lashed, but the other one managing to get some trample damage on there. But Theory pushing back, not wanting to be in that concave again. Instead setting up his own concave with some Gaunts on the high ground and good micro to try and make sure all his Gaunts are moved forward to do attack. You see as that concave happens, some of them stop attacking in the back, and we get a Nightfall infestation in the middle of Yoru's army. And now the Gaunts for Theory are the ones that are getting concaved a little bit better. And some of his Gaunts are just not attacking, but he's pushing forward. He just wants to push out, get on top of those Gaunts, maybe get the snowball of fiends that he wants, but no, it's not enough. The concave again from Yoru is doing the work, and Yoru takes his fiends and walks home. Theory pushing back out again, and Yoru just saying, well, fine, let's do it. Let's go. So far, Yoru's been able to get better concave, partly because he's attacking from the low ground, just has a little bit more space to maneuver, and Theory's up there in his Sim City having to move his units around. Yoru deciding, I'm just going to rotate around. I got that speed juice on me. I'm going to come all the way over here. I know I'm faster than you are because of my speed boost. And there you go. We got a Shroud Stone going down. And again, it's the threat of the concave on the low ground from Yoru that Theory keeps moving back. Another incredible Nightfall infestation on those units. Moving them back, which is good just to try and keep them from going down to the Gaunts and just spawning a bunch of fiends. Now we have Yoru on the high ground while half of his army is on the low ground. And I think, oh my goodness, poor Theory, he was focus firing his own conclave for a while. It's at like a third of its health. And that was terrible. That unfortunately meant so much DPS was focused on that building. And that's going to be a GG out of Theory. All right, welcome back. Here we are in game 2 of this best of 5 finals for the Apple Navigators Cup number 18, starring Theory in the blue Infernal here, and also Yoru in the red Infernal. Yoru actually plays both Infernal and Celestial. I'm not sure if he mains Infernal in tournaments. I have seen him play Celestial as well. And Theory is pretty hard locked in as an Infernal main. I did see him play Celestial on Spooky Boneyard, which we cast earlier tonight, and he was victorious over Albino, also off racing as a Celestial. If you haven't watched that one, check it out on my YouTube. Okay, we got a scout from both. This scout Hexen going home after noticing the double conclave. I think that was double conclave, yep. And still Vault Conclave for Yoru, which went well for Yoru last time. We got a meat farm at the Vision for both of our players. And almost symmetrical action, we got a Brute and a Hexen starting the creeping over here. While it looks like TheoRy's gonna creep with the Gaunts. And again, this has been pretty much TheoRy's opening this whole tournament. Especially against Infernal at least. And quite well practiced. We notice here he is letting his Hexen tank a lot. I think it's an interesting choice. It's kind of a risky choice. More risky in other matchups, but it's risky because your Hexen will be low, and then if some of your opponent's units, say a dog, come running up, they can snipe your Hexen. In this case, it might be some fiends that could run up. But allowing that Hexen to just spend a few minutes in that healing bath of the healing camp and coming back not quite as low as before. Not quite full, though. Now, if she wanted, the Hexen could go eat that healing cabbage. We see that Yoru is also pretty much on the same pace, creeping. Because Yoru's using Brutes. I've got a few extra Fiends that are from split Brutes and another Brute going down. But pretty much just standard creeping pace for both of them. We do have a Fiend here on the right going to scout and maybe steal a camp. Like, what was that Hexen doing? Why was she alerting us to ourselves? Well, she's actually soaking in the energy camp's juices. That's cool. Really, I haven't thought about doing this before. I haven't really seen any Infernal players do it before. But that way she can get up to full, and then she can do all of her skulls. She can do extra skulls. And of course, if you give her some upgrades, you can start Venom Trapping or casting Miasma. And we got another Lumberjack Imp down here, chopping trees and making a farm. Whereas there was no Lumberjack Imp for Yoru. So Yoru deciding not to cut through the trees and do the double creeping thing. Okay, this is interesting. So moving the Gaunts to the middle. Guess that's sort of interesting. Maybe you can get those Fell Hogs to actually help with some tanking and DPS. Now here's the interesting thing. Yoru's trying to go over this camp too. So Yoru snuck all the way around and saying, I'm not going to take the camp on my side, I'm going to take this one. And yeah, and they're sort of deciding to, this is like teamwork. This is cooperative creeping. You take your creeps, I'll take my creeps, and then after we done creeping, we can fight. It's good teamwork, it's good, honest, RTS play. Let's just be friends for a bit. Although, interesting, these poor brutes can't run the sneaky way home, so they gotta go the long way home, which means they're basically cut off from the rest of their army. I like how these two fiends have turned to fight, but those Gaunts, yeah, those Gaunts were there to, you know, protect the brute's retreat, but they didn't really want to actually have to fight anything. Alright, Gaunts and brutes again from Yoru. Just Gaunts from TheoRy. This worked well for Yoru in the last game, so we'll see if it continues to be fruitful. Third base coming from Yoru, while also third base coming out of TheoRy. Interesting that neither of them are opting for the center, although it looks like TheoRy now is doing that Lumberjack move to move into the center, while also sending a fiend to go take this camp. So that's useful and interesting. This Hexen, and she's just kind of chilling here. Wonder what that's about. I wonder if the rest of her ball here knows that she's missing. Maybe after she was separated out to hang out in the energy camp, she never got re-added, and now she's just lost. Poor girl, having a holiday over here in the light trees. Imp over here, just making sure that no one's coming through on this side, but here comes the Magma Dawn, and that Imp's like, I'm out of here! I'm sorry. In fact, that Imp was probably not in the best spot because from that vision camp, Yoru could see the Imp, and that's probably why Yoru sent his army over there to clear him away. Because I was pretty much advertising at one, I've chopped down the trees, and two, I might be getting ready to expand here. And now both sides have knocked down their sides of the tree. And it looks like, oh no, that's what happens when you get a new pathway, the pathing. These units are like, maybe I'll go through. Little run by scout. And all these gaunts. Okay, again, this is the better way to take it. Just a single gaunt, so you're not advertising to your opponent what the entire size of your army is. Little Skull of Shedda taking a tower. They count as units, so they'll take the tower for you. Although, I was going to say, did it survive long enough to actually capture the tower? No, but it survived long enough to deny the tower, which can be a bonus in itself. And it looks like it's just gaunt, 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 gaunt so far from TheoRy. Adding some weavers, though, actually, I like that. That's a heavy conclave play, and I was going to say, I bet if we go back home, what we're going to see is a sea of conclaves. In fact, is there even a vault? There's not even a vault. There's no vaults, just conclaves. We got Reaper's Rush on the way. Of course, weavers don't need any upgrades, which is one of their benefits. And I think one of the ways they might be nerfed in a coming patch, because there's lots of talk about nerfing them, even in this matchup, IVI, they're a bit overpowered, which seems weird. But it just, one of the things I find playing against them in this matchup is that they kind of neutralize other units like Mags and Hellborns, making them less useful in the matchup. And I'd really like matchups, especially mirror matchups, to be the kind of thing where you have a lot of variety in your unit choice. Now here we're actually seeing the army from Yoru doing a lot more damage. Those weavers from TheoRy got taken out much quicker, and with a great Nightfall infestation, TheoRy had to get chased back here. Although TheoRy is about to get Reaper's Rush. And it actually looks like Yoru already has Reaper's Rush. Yes. So this might help TheoRy a bit, but not going to give an advantage so much as just catch up. Nice Nightfall infestation going down for TheoRy, capturing a lot of those units in the slow and in the infest. Trying to get a nice concave, and I like that too. Microing his units out into that concave. Now, Yoru is pushing into it with a pretty good concave of his own. Those weavers are just tanky, and now it's the concave of Yoru that just is going to snowball into these fiends, and wow, that army disappeared quickly, and that's game 2 for Yoru as well. Okay, here we are in game 3 of this finals in the Alpha Navigators Cup between TheoRy in the Blue Infernal and Yoru in the Red Infernal. And so far, Yoru's up 2 games, having done pretty good job with his brute and his sort of brute gaunt opening, or vault conclave opening, if you want to call it that. Again, is that what we got? We actually have double conclave. We have a change up for Yoru here. But as I was saying, he's doing pretty good with that opening into a mid game and late game. So both of the games so far have gone a little bit longer. No sort of rush wins here. And so we'll see if Yoru can close it out. This could be a 3-0 if he wins this game. And so far been playing very well. TheoRy on the other hand, hoping that this game can turn it around for him and maybe force a few more games in the series. So everything's on the line for TheoRy this game. Tanking with his Hexen again and microing it back there at the end, getting pretty low. As I mentioned in the last game, that's kind of a risky style, but if you can do it, then you can soak in this healing bath here for a moment and you'll be fine. Although, choosing to just zert away, just get out of there. This Fiend, I think, was trying to do some scouting up here, and indeed finding that TheoRy is in. This is actually an unfavorable spawn position for TheoRy. And that's because this camp is closer to Yoru, as we see Yoru's already captured it. And if TheoRy wants to get a speed camp, he has to go over here and grab this one, which is way out of the way. My expectation is he will probably do that right away. Although, no, it looks like he's going for the vision camp first. There's already some fell hogs out here trying to lay claim to it. But a few of them getting taken out, and Yoru's going to try and come down here now and maybe challenge that and defend his farm. Interesting that the pathing here meant some of those brutes ended up taking some shots. And I think what happened here is TheoRy just aggroed these so that they would themselves take out the farm. And now it's Yoru saying, okay, I guess I know where I'm creeping next. Want to creep these guys so I can take them out, capture the vision camp, and then let those file hugs do their job of protecting the vision camp. Meanwhile, TheoRy's taking the health camp over here, so he's got double health bonuses, but no speed. And where are you going now, TheoRy? Back home or heading back home? Interesting thing for TheoRy is we have got no shrine out yet, whereas we do have a shrine out from Yoru. It's pretty late for an expo. Although on Lost Hope you can sometimes get away with it, largely because there are these extra camps on the map. We now have an imp we see here scooting through the trees there. It looks like TheoRy loves those lumberjack imps. And he tried to take this camp with the Fiend, but Gaunt's came out. And now, interesting, these Gaunts came and take the other speed camp, but they're so out of position. And there is a Shroud Stone going down in Yoru's base. This is that kind of slow-moving tower rush that you can do when you're a Infernal. You can get your first Shroud Stone into the base. Now, the Plague Axe timing, it looks like, has also been on time for TheoRy here because we have lots of Fiends coming out. But once this Shroud Stone comes up, let's see if he manifests the Shroud Stone. I'm not sure if he's on tier 2 yet, but if he is, he's going to get another Shroud Stone. One stone down. I don't see another one manifest yet, and these Gaunts might want to retreat, but actually they have traction, and there's enough Fiends from the Plague Axes, and that's a GG out of Yoru. Nice fast game 3. Right, we are back in game 4 of this best of 5 in the finals of the Alpha Navigators Cup number 18, and this is Yoru in the blue Infernal, currently leading 2-1 against his opponent TheoRy in the red Infernal, down 2-1, but having just won that last game with a pretty good sort of push. I wouldn't call it an all-in. Actually, it might have been an all-in. He hadn't built his shrine yet. I don't remember. But it was a nice quick game, managing to get an imp up in the base with a Shroud Stone as well as a sweet Plague Axe timing. And just some good micro to win that one. So back in it is TheoRy. He's now scouted out, sees that Yoru has actually gone back to the Vault Conclave with that one of the first 2 games. And TheoRy, actually interestingly, only on a single Conclave, where he's gone for more of an aggressive double Conclave in previous games. And we have another imp out here. I doubt this imp is just here for emotional support or extra DPS. Oh, I lied. He is here for extra DPS. What do I know? Get good, man. You don't know what's going on here. Sometimes when you want to creep this, you bring an extra imp along. Now this reminds me of Filibuster's, or Filibuster, I'm not sure how you say his name, but he's another streamer. I believe he's from Finland. Check out his stream. He does a real cool imp base creeping here where he'll bring 3 imps right away and creep that one. Fun little fast expo build where you can get some income from the creeps. So it offsets the fact that you've pulled those imps off. And now we're just out creeping vision camp here. We got creeping out of Yoru as well. Of course, their creeping styles just differ as we've seen in previous games due to the fact that Yoru likes to open vault. And TheoRy, on the other hand, likes to open Conclave. And now he likes to open double, but he hasn't. He's instead opened Conclave into Shrine. Shrine hidden right here inside the health camp. Not super sure why people like to do that other than I think it's just more defensive. You can, if someone's trying to come in and snipe this, you can sit right in your health camp and defend it. Ritual Chamber going down for Yoru. Okay. And maybe we'll keep an eye on that to see what kind of upgrades are coming out of it. And we do have a Ritual Chamber as well for TheoRy, and that is actually a little bit quicker timing on that. And TheoRy here actually getting pretty aggressive with the expo. We have Yoru's Shrine almost done, well, or just finishing off, while TheoRy's now mining, having transferred some workers, it looks like. And going for that third, Yoru's creeping out the Luminite camp here, while TheoRy's creeping the energy camp. So TheoRy's a little behind on the creeping, but that's maybe understandable because he has spent quite a bit of extra money on 2 shrines. That's 700 Luminite right there. And he's got only a single conclave here producing. But his Plague Axe is almost done. And let's check over here. Plague Axe is a little bit behind for Yoru, but Yoru's Ritual Chamber was also timed a little bit behind as well. Yoru is moving around here to the Therium camp, and this strategy is, well, one, great for those extra minerals, but I'm wondering what he's going to do with this. Is he going to circle around? Now, this is interesting. A Fiend has come and taken this Luminite camp, so that might, yeah, cause Yoru to zone back. I was going to say, if he rotated around this way, he might scout out this base and actually do some damage, but this Fiend actually coming to capture this actually did a great job of zoning that army back. Although now we see some Fiends running up here, so we might actually have an attempt at a run by here, but there is an army just sitting there ready for this. And if I can mind read TheoRy a little bit, I think taking that camp on the far left was an indication to TheoRy that there might be aggression coming in from that direction, and that's why he moved his army over there now. Yoru, maybe knowing the army's over there, says, well, I can rotate around to the other side of the map. Lucky for TheoRy, this vision camp was captured, so you could see that without Yoru doing a really roundabout route. And that means that TheoRy can move his army back into a better position. Not exactly sure. Is Yoru going to come this path into... Well, it looks like that is the path he's going to take. Not into the natural, but into the main. Although changing his mind now, maybe saying, okay, I can circle around to the other side. Force TheoRy to also circle around. Now, TheoRy doesn't know if this attack is coming or not. That's why TheoRy's moving his army around over here. He's got a Skull of Shetty looking for that army, but it looks like Yoru's saying, okay, I've postured enough. I've made you stand in your base for a while. While you're maybe a little bit scared of some pressure, I'm going to move out and try and take some more camps and get some more resources here. Skull coming here seeing if that's exactly what's happening, and sure it is. And so TheoRy's back out on the map now, recapturing the vision tower so he can feel a little bit safer at home, but not seeing these Fiends run by. Really not seeing them run by, although they turn to fight a Fellhog. That's not great. You don't really... That's not what they're here for. You're not here for Fellhogs, boys. Get on those. Get on. Oh no, and it's just only Fellhog damage that's going down here. Um, yeah, that was not great. And wow, as they try and run away, they get caught by a little sort of strike force of Gaunts there. Luckily, most of them get away. Pretty low though, but getting away. Meanwhile, Yoru's out trying to take as many of these creep camps as possible, and that's actually good in terms of that resource advantage you get from that. Although Yoru's base at the third is now just getting done, and look at TheoRy's already up and mining. Why are these numbers all off? Yeah, I'm like, that didn't look right. There we go, 12 of 12. So I think you just have to select one of the mining buildings, or maybe just one of the buildings of the particular player you're looking at. So far, this game has mostly been macro. Not a lot of battles or skirmishes, other than a little bit of posturing. We now see a fourth base going down for TheoRy. And again, Yoru's base was just got up, so it's going to take a few minutes to get that up to fully mining and fully saturated and getting that income that Yoru wants from it. But Yoru's got a pretty ugly looking army here, and this might move across the map and try and finish things. We got this single Hexen trying to, as I was like, leading the way is pretty daring, but no. It looks like TheoRy's able to position his army in here. Those trees, of course, being a pain in the butt, causing this zoning back and forth. There's a couple mags here. And there's a couple weavers. And that one lone weaver of TheoRy joining the rest of the ball. Meanwhile, here we go. Now, and one weaver getting lashed in already and focused down. That's a good score for Yoru. TheoRy not really willing to engage this army just yet. Trying to get a little bit of a split. Managing to get a yank on one of the mags, and that mag goes down. Another mag gets yanked, and Ace goes down. Now there's a lash going down on the weaver, and it's actually just pulled out to the front line, and it says, thank you very much, that's kind of where I wanted to get. Now I can focus down your mag and other weavers quicker. And it looks like TheoRy's army is actually doing a pretty good job. Yoru's got a nice concave, but there's just not as many Gaunts, and now they're trying to run through the light woods, and they're just getting caught up on the pathing. That's so awful. We unfortunately see Yoru in full retreat. Bunch of fiends right on his heels. Well, these fiends saying, no, that's not my job. I'm doing a run by. I'm going to run on by. I think Yoru knows that's what's happening. His army's trying to come. Actually, they got misaimed. They're like, oh no, I'm not here to fight this camp. And these, yeah, look at these Gaunts, perfectly positioned, and take out those fiends, and not a single one going down. Really good defense of that run by. Skull scouting this base. So this is the fourth base of Yoru. Well, there's again a fourth base for TheoRy already up. So TheoRy's kind of giving consistently one base ahead here, which means the econ for TheoRy is definitely going to be better. And now TheoRy's trying to deny the fourth base and getting up on that high ground with a nice little concave. What is it, anyways? There's a Nightfall infestation that moves and misses. Another one that misses. And now it's just going to be a battle. The Weaver's up front doing some tanking. There is a Mag in there as well that could push its way to the front if it wants. A nice lash going down on the Weaver. Double lash. Don't usually want to see that. We have a trample coming out from the Magmadon. Now getting on top of those Gaunts. Not really getting any split off, but managing to maneuver back into the ball of Gaunts to stay safe from any focus fire. And now that that shrine's down, there's not really much to fight here anymore, but Yoru is still trying to fight on that low ground, hoping that maybe if TheoRy pushes down that ramp, there will be a great concave. One Weaver going down at the tail end there, one last Weaver just trying to get back, but yeah, the Gaunts coming to defend. And again, Gaunts pushing forward, saying, let's do this, get on top of a Weaver, lash it in. Goes the other way as well, two Weavers going down. It's hard to get a concave here because there's just so much choke going on. A nice Nightfall infestation going down on both sides. So many infested Gaunts here on Theory's side. Yoru has got to be happy about that, but does he have enough Gaunts to do what he needs to? So many Gaunts in the background running back and forth. Yeah, he moved them forward like that. That's what you got to do. Grab all your units, move them forward. So many running around in the background. We see how Theory's forcing his way in. Even though he doesn't have the concave, at least all of his units are fighting. That front line for Yoru just gets melted, and he keeps pushing in. We see more and more going down. He wants to get a... Well, there's a GG. And here we are in the final match. This is game 5 of the best of 5 in the finals of the Alpha Navigators Cup. And we've got Yoru in the Red Infernal, hoping to win this final game and win it all after going up 2-0. Is now down 2, or is now tied up at 2-2. Tied up with whom? With TheoRy, playing for Team Aftermath, and the star of tonight's stream, having played in every game in this series. So we will see who is able to come out victorious, winner of the Alpha Navigators Cup number 18. We got a farm going down here. Interesting placement. I'll have to put my second farm somewhere around there. My first one, because I try and be cool, is maybe out here or over here. And another imp coming along for the walk. Last time the imp was used as extra DPS, and I made a joke about that, and it turned out to be false. So let's see, is this imp going for extra DPS? Where are you going, Mr. Imp? Definitely going for a walk. Oh, maybe deciding, actually, where am I going? I'm not sure. I didn't get very good instructions. Oh no. Oh no, Mr. Gaunt. This is what I mean about the Shadow Mastiffs. Oh no. Oh no. Wow, okay. Almost losing both Gaunts. That's the kind of thing I would do as my opening creep. Just lose both my Gaunts and then straight up GG out. Just be like, I'm embarrassed. I don't want you to come across the map and see that I've lost all my army to creeps. Also quite embarrassing when I lose my Hexen on that first camp. I'm like, oh gee. Get good, my friend. Get good. Okay, so TheoRy, of course, not perturbed, not GGing out of the final match of the Alpha Navigators Cup just because he lost a single Gaunt to a Shadow Mastiff. Instead, he's pushing forward, jumping right on top of this healing camp, tanking with his Hexen, although maybe deciding she wants to hide into the woods so she can heal up, or stay alive, I guess, so she can eventually heal up. And now they're going to soak up those nice healing juices, while the Gaunts of Yoru are going for the vision camp. So Yoru, once again, just a little bit ahead in the creeping, probably due to the fact that TheoRy did lose one of his Gaunts in that first camp. And Yoru's just on a micro machines. He's just got all these low Gaunts after microing them back and forth a number of times. And yeah, beautiful. One going down, unfortunately. But yeah, really good effort. And not going for the vision camp at all, going for the energy camp instead. Interesting play. Energy, energy, energy. Last time he soaked his Hexen in the energy juices for a little while so that she could get back up and get more Skulls of Shedda out. So maybe that's the goal here, although it doesn't leave her to soak just using that passive energy regen. She still gets passive energy regen as a result. It looks like it's not super quick. Not super quick. Not super slow either. Give me taking another sip there, getting a little bit dry here, casting all these games. Wow, we've got a fiend over here looking to see if there's a third going down. And again, this is just sort of an interesting thing to think about. If you happen to be playing out here in this game and you notice that your opponent has scouted your third base and then you haven't even built that base yet, so you're like, That's premature. Why is he scouting over there? It is often because he's put down his own base on his side of the map and is thinking, hey, I've got my base down. I should scout to see if you've got your base down. Now this poor imp was going to go put down the base, and that fiend oh, poor imp. Poor imp. That fiend reporting back to hell saying, I did my job. I killed the imp that came my way. Please reincarnate me as this fiend so I can go out and do it again. Of course, getting reincarnated to the wrong side, that sucks. But this fiend, recapturing the health camp, I think that's where we saw that fiend coming from. And now Yoru trying to just keep getting ahead maybe in the creep income, which so far he has. We still haven't seen this camp taken by TheoRy. Grabbing the Illuminite income, which is actually helpful. The creep income is needed by Yoru because, well, unbeknownst to Yoru perhaps, he's behind in bases. This base is already up. This base is only a quarter done. This base is doing pretty good. Looks like we got more production being added here. Meanwhile, we've got TheoRy creeping this base while Yoru's thinking, I want to creep that camp too. And coming up behind and actually capturing the camp. Oh, no, leaving it to go. Instead, chasing down this Gaunt ball. And the Gaunt's managing to turn around and sort of stutter step those fiends away. Plague axes for both. Both, it looks like. It's the Hexen, yeah. And Yoru also putting down extra production. Got that. Are either of them going Reaper's Rush? We got Reaper's Rush about a third of the way down here. And no Reaper's Rush even started here unless it is finished. It is not finished. So, looks like Yoru will have the advantage of faster gaunts. Speedy gaunts for a bit. And that could, if he gets a good engage when he's got the Reaper's Rush up, that could be the turning point for him. Looks like maybe heading back to the speed camp to refresh it. This one's gone down as well. Still no Reaper's Rush started for TheoRy. So that boost to speed could actually be really helpful for Yoru. Again, if he can get a good engage while he's got the Reaper's Rush. Well, okay, splitting the units up just to recapture some camps. In theory, staying on this side of the map. Actually, maybe now realizing his speed camp's refreshed and wanting to go back and get it. So both players sort of deciding that they're going to stay on their side of Isle of Dread. Isle of Dread, this is a big map, right? And easy to split it a couple different ways, horizontally, vertically. There's different ways you can split this map and just try and macro out and be defensive on your side of the map. Yoru is opting to go sort of this more vertical expansion, at least for now, because it looks like he's going to try and take the double Therium camp here. But TheoRy has not yet taken this camp, even though he had this base up earlier. So might start falling behind in the Luminite, in the Therium race, and in this matchup that's really important. We have some fiends going around, probably trying to do some capturing.
Darkness closes in.
Or maybe also trying to scout the space to see if that Luminite has gone down. It looks like now he's putting down his own, so he is going to try and catch up in that Luminite race. And we got Shroud Stone, Meat Farm, Meat Farm, Meat Farm. 3 Meat Farms and a Shroud Stone. We have a Scout Gaunt and a Scout Fiend over here looking for a extra base in this position. But interestingly, neither player has gone for this position, and one reason is there used to be Therium down here. Now he's coming in, and the Scout Gaunt's like, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to scout. But there used to be Therium here, and now the Therium's gone. So this expansion pattern is no longer favored as much. And in fact, I see a lot of folks going for this base as their third instead, which is interesting. I like it, but I think there's going to be a new meta that's this expansion pattern that we're seeing out of Yoru and out of TheoRy might become the new meta. These fiends also trying to run by, but also being like, oh, you haven't expanded there yet. I get it. I don't want to expand there. You don't want to expand there. Although Yoru's base is going to get up. And while TheoRy was ahead in the expansions at first, I think Yoru is starting to change that tide. Yoru's going to get the economic advantage now, and Yoru's been trying to keep on top of these towers as well. I think having the creep advantage in terms of income, as well as controlling these towers for longer, meaning getting more of that passive income. With that said, this army for TheoRy is looking pretty nasty. It's just a wee bit bigger in terms of supply, but it looks bigger because Yoru's had his army split into a couple different chunks for a while now, as he's trying to keep that map control and keep control of these towers. We see fiends on fiends going on up here for a battle for this tower up here, and this tower also being captured by TheoRy. Again, TheoRy's army is just this big old ball, and Yoru's has been split up. It's like streamed across the map here. These 5 weavers just saying, please stop move commanding me to different corners of the map. I can barely even get to where you're moving me before you move me somewhere else. Again, a good use of those splitting off units to go do some tasks, in this case capturing another tower. But what that means is this army is a little bit smaller, missing this 5 or 6 gaunts.
An honorable end.
What an honorable end indeed, said the effigy. I didn't know effigies could speak, but they do. And now we just got lash. We got weavers and megs being lashed across. We had a nightfall infestation going down. And it's just hard to see where this is going to go. We got lots of TheoRy's gaunts in the back. Not sure if they want to attack. I see these gaunts on the left moving forward so they can get better and start a concave. And now the gaunts from TheoRy just keep pushing forward, and it looks like Yoru's got to retreat. There's just too many gaunts out of TheoRy. The TheoRy's gaunts are now just picking off weaver after weaver. They're actually trying to run ahead and get on top of those gaunts, it looks like. Or better yet, get underneath the weavers, because underneath the weavers, the gaunts can walk, of course. It doesn't matter what unit you are, whether you're an opponent or you're a friendly, you can walk underneath those weavers. So you can get your gaunts right underneath them and focus fire them. Now, these fiends, happily created in that, are going to say, let me run over here and deny some bases. Let me deny bases. And notice again, his base is also up, knowing, hey, I bet you if I've got a base up, my opponent also has a base up. I'm going to go find it. A Manifest Shroudstone here trying to clean it up, but it's just not enough. A few imps that show up also going to be taken out, and it looks like Yoru's going to have to send in an army. Now, these are just some lead Shadow Flyers leading the way, and these fiends, unfortunately for Yoru, got all their damage done and are happy to die now. They're like, that's what I was here for. I killed the base. And Yoru quickly puts down a new one. So these last couple of engages kind of going TheoRy's way, but he's not yet sort of pushing all the way out. In fact, what he's done is he's added this base some more interesting. He's got added some more Twilight Spires to this. He's got this base going. He's got this base up but not mining yet, and he's out clearing some more camps. Yoru, once again, streaming those units across the map. I'd like to see him try and keep them just a little bit more together like we're seeing here, even though those slow weavers get left behind by your speedy gaunts. Alright, still just a lot of posturing around the middle of the map. Neither opponent really yet wanting to push into the other. Now this is not looking good at all. This is this army, yeah, this army started walking the wrong way around or something. They got pathed exactly the way they didn't want to go. And luckily for Yoru, Yoru caught that before they, move commanded themselves into certain death. Instead, Yoru says, hey, I know where your army is now. I'm going to come. Let's do this. Let's engage. Trying to move some of his units around to get a nice concave, and in fact, this is good. Although we're seeing Molten Touch coming down from some Hellborns in the back from TheoRy, getting a lot of damage over time going down. Boom, another big hit. A lot of TheoRy's units are not attacking. They're just standing in the back. But now that those Weavers move forward, the Gaunts in the back are able to get some attack, and it doesn't really seem to matter because the Infest plus that Molten Touch has just created so many Fiends. There's just a snowball. I think partly from the Dragon as well, breathing that Infest breath down. And that's just a sea of Fiends. You do not want to deal with that. That Fiend can get now on top of these Weavers, but now, oh wow, just focusing that Brute for a second instead of getting on top of all these infested. And that's a GG. Well played, and an LOL because I think he lost 3 in a row to lose this series. But good game out of TheoRy to win this and win the Alpha Navigators Cup number 18.